All three walls are gonna act exactly the same. They're just different sizes and everything, but as far as the operation, it's gonna be the same. They're all paired panels, they're hinged together. So you wanna grab two at a time and start pulling them out away from this other side. You might wanna be on this side, it's gonna be a little bit better. You wanna operate them from like the open book side, so you don't wanna get your fingers caught in the middle. They'll pinch you back. And then when you're opening these up, you just don't want to be scraping the face of this other panel. So you like to be on the back side of this and just have your hand in here to make sure that this thing isn't gouging the face of this panel or anything like that. And then it's better to have them in line instead of flat to push and pull them. So we just have them in line as far as we're running. We'll push it instead of pulling it. And then you don't want to slam this thing in there. Each panel weighs a few hundred pounds, so you've got nearly 700 pounds. You don't want to just slam it in that wall and start damaging the face of that. If you look up at the top there, there's a nose sticking up. It's the seal for the top suite. It's going to just nestle in that jam. And then once you get that set in the right spot, it just takes another little push to go in. And then the next set of panels, when they come up, they're going to line up with this piece here, and that's going to set the bottom sweeps. So, just like the first set, I'm going to grab two, bring them out, make sure they're not scraping the face of this other panel. And then we like to look down the face of this thing and kind of line up those panels at the same time, but you can also walk over here and visually see that these are tongue and groove and they meet up. And then again, just another extra push. It's going to set the bottom ones on the first set, and it's going to set the top ones on this set. And this last set is quite a bit heavier, so it may take a little extra effort moving it around. And this one is pretty tight. So instead of like putting my hand back here for the wall, I'm actually going to go on the front side of this and kind of watch this tongue to make sure that it kind of gets right past it. There's not a lot of space, as you'll notice on this back side, so it's really important that you're watching your limits of how far that goes. And then I'm just going to do the same thing by grabbing this handle. I can kind of just shove that in. You can also use the crank handle on the nose on this last one to push this nose out and supply pressure, and it can also set that, engage that sweep down in case you can't get this last one to go in. And then this is just going to go all the way out until it makes contact with the wall, and then maybe give it an extra quarter turn. I'm not going to do that currently, but after you get that all the way out, you're going to set this bottom sweep down, and that's just for this panel. And then for the man door, you're going to swing it all the way open.
Hey, bud, I grabbed one.
And then there's going to be one on each side of the door to drop down.
They're on this one? Yeah. Right by the drill. Right by the drill.
And then the one on the door may be a little bit tricky to get lined up. It's going to set a Pimco seal on this one, so as it's closing, it's going to be up, and you're going to close it, and then it's going to hit this and drop that sweep down. You don't want to go too far, and we're going to set this after the floor covering is gone. But it's going to eventually be about like that, where you're about a ½ inch up above the ground, and then as this closes, it's going to drop that sweep down. It'll go past a click, and then it closes automatically. And then everything in reverse for putting it away. You're going to want to bring all these door ones up first before you release any of this. If you start to loosen this wall, this section, and the door opens up, it can throw this out of whack and really swing out of the line. So I'm just going to do everything exactly in reverse, starting with the door one. Bring it all the way up. ahead.
No, you're good.
It has a crank access from both sides. We just like to do it from this side so you're not getting your fingers pinched in there. So you're going to bring the floor one up and then bring the nose in second. And you do want to bring this all the way in just so you give yourself the most space here to operate it. And it will just go until it stops. So you shouldn't need the handle anymore. And as you pull these out, the tops are going to come up automatically. And then I'm just going to fold this up. And then kind of go soft so you're not smashing into the wall as well. And these here, they're a lift up. You can see there's a sticker right here, lift to release. You'll get a lot of people that try to like kick them down, and you don't want to go down, you want to lift it up. And then that releases the bottom sweep, and then as you pull back, the top sweep's going to come up automatically. And then I'm going to push in line until I get about 6 inches from the face of that one. And then you want to start to fold them up. Same thing with these. Releasing the bottom. If you don't release the bottom, you're going to have a real hard time pulling these things. If ever you're having a hard time operating them, take a step back and see you might be missing a step. They should be really easy to operate. That's it.